Days after withdrawing the Ukraine grain deal, Russia says all ships bound for Ukraine in the Black Sea are now potential military targets, and that has sent wheat prices soaring. But it's unclear what specific action Moscow will take if a ship passes through. The US, though, has warned that civilian ships may be targeted. Russia's President Vladimir Putin has now laid down conditions for returning to the agreement.
The first demand for re-entry to the grain deal is the withdrawal of sanctions on supplies of Russian grain and fertilizers. Second, all obstacles for Russian banks and financial institutions servicing food and fertilizer supplies must be removed. We are talking about their immediate connection to the SWIFT international banking settlement system. We do not need any promises. We need these conditions to be met.
A second night of what Ukraine describes as hellish aerial assault by Russia on the city of Odessa, home to Ukraine's primary grain shipment port in the Black Sea. According to the city's military administration, this recent attack was, quote, powerful and very massive. Ukraine said the port's grain and oil terminal have been damaged. Moscow described the previous attack on Odessa the day before as a mass revenge strike in response to Kyiv's attacks on the bridge connecting Russia with Crimea. Air raids were also heard in other parts of Ukraine, with a drone attack reported on the capital, Kyiv.
Tonight, a picture of Travis King coming into sharper focus. The U.S. Army private set off a diplomatic crisis when he dashed across South Korea's border with North Korea Tuesday. While serving in South Korea, King had multiple run-ins with the law, according to local legal documents. Last September, he was accused of assaulting a man at a nightclub. And in a separate incident in October, police arrested him for assault. While sitting in a police car, King shouted insults at Koreans and Korean police, according to court documents. He also kicked the car, causing nearly $500 in damage. And he was just released after nearly 2 months in a South Korean prison, according to American officials who spoke anonymously to the Associated Press.
Hundreds of people stormed the Swedish embassy in Baghdad in the early hours of Thursday, setting it on fire in protest at the expected burning of the Quran in Sweden. The demonstration was called by supporters of Shiite cleric Muqtada Sadr, according to posts in a Telegram group linked to the cleric. Sadr is one of Iraq's most powerful figures, who commands hundreds of thousands of followers. Eyewitness video showed demonstrators carrying his portrait and chanting pro-Sadr slogans.
Meanwhile, Iran is yet again imposing restrictions on women. This time, a popular Iranian actress has been handed a 2-year suspended prison sentence. The question is why? For failing to wear the mandatory hijab headscarf in public. According to local media, Afsaneh Baigan was sentenced to 2 years in prison, suspended over 5 years for wearing a hat and failing to comply with the hijab law. In what can be termed as a peculiar directive, the court has ordered the actress to visit a psychological center every week to treat the mental disorder of having an anti-family personality. She even has to submit a health certificate after her treatment. The verdict also bans her from using social media and leaving the Islamic Republic for 2 years.
An unexplained explosion ripped through central Johannesburg during rush hour Wednesday, tearing through a main road and injuring 41 people, according to South African officials. Emergency services initially blamed underground gas pipes, but Egoli Gas Company said it was unlikely the explosion was caused by a gas pipeline.
At least 2 people and an armed attacker have been killed in New Zealand's biggest city, Auckland. Several others are injured in the attack, which happened hours before the city was due to stage the opening of the FIFA Women's World Cup. The suspected gunman stormed a building under renovation in the central business district. He's believed to have been a worker at the construction site.